Hello and welcome to the Football Revolution. I'm your host, Gio. Great to have your company. Some cracking goals, quality football, and unfortunately, too many injuries to our star players. But we are fit and ready to go as usual. So let's get to it. Good evening to my co-host, VIG. How are you?
Good evening. Very good. No injuries to our staff.
Mate, we're ready to roll. And like I said, while some of these players are dropping off like flies, I know we'll back up week in, week out, and they'll get a full 90 minutes out of both of us.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've played injured before, and I'll do it again. So ready to roll.
Mate, Spurs and United both with good performances. So we've had a lot worse weeks than we did this week starting as of this morning.
Yeah, definitely. Look, you know, a League Cup. Yeah, it's great. It's a trophy. It's something nice, something that you aren't too familiar with. Being a Spurs fan, so
Take it easy, mate.
but being a United fan, I want more. I want more. I know this is the start of they're trying to build a winning culture and a winning team mentality. And Ten Hag's done a great job at doing that so far. And winning is everything in football. You play week in, week out to win every single football match, and then go on and win a championship or a cup. So it's a huge achievement, yes, but at the end of the day, this is just the start for the new Manchester United. So as a fan, I want more. If in 2, 3, 4 years' time, this is all we've won, then it's nothing. It's nothing. We need to go on now, and we need to win a Premier League. We need to get back in the Champions League. We need to push for success there, and we need to be back at the top of world football again.
Well, congrats to you and Man United on winning a trophy. It's something, like I said, as you pointed out quite rightfully, that we haven't won for a long time. But winning the London Derby this morning and beating a team that had a 100% record against us at our new Spurs Stadium was a good start for us. So I don't get a trophy, but I get bragging rights in the London Derby. They're weird and wild in the West as head coach Ruben Zakovic had to deny punching glory player Giordano Colli. The Players Union Professional Footballers Australia were investigating allegations of an incident between the two in a five-a-side training game. So if Ruben is innocent, where did the rumours come from? Believable enough for the PFA to get involved. If it is fake, this is a serious concern.
Yeah, it is definitely for Ruben Zakovic. If someone is leaking this or someone's trying to stir the pot at Perth, it looks like it's been cleared, it's been brushed on the carpet now. But yeah, I don't know what the full story is. It's never nice to have something like this in the week up leading to a game. So yeah, I think there's maybe some other internal issues at Perth, and someone maybe talking. But yeah, I think they've got a little bit to sort out there between obviously the coach and the players.
Yeah, look, we're hoping it's fake news, but as I said, you want to know why these rumours are coming about. If there's players in there that are trying to cause trouble, and look, there was a bit of a roll on there for Perth, but they've fallen off the wagon in the last few weeks. So I don't know where there's smoke, there's fire. Is there issues there? Maybe it's nothing that he did do, but internally it doesn't seem like things are going as smoothly as they were because results aren't coming as they were previously, and they were on the rise, and now they're on the way down again.
Yeah, look, if there was a punch, I'd love to see the footage of it because you know what Zatkovic is like. Sometimes he can fire right up. So I wouldn't want to step in his line of sight when he's got him up. So we'll see what happens, see how it pans out. It's never good to hear these sort of rumors floating around football, or if it's happened, it's happened. But yeah, it's disruptive for the team, like you said, and like you said, maybe when there is smoke, there is fire.
Look, let's hope Perth and football can put it behind them. Following on from the terrible injuries to One Day, Davila, Cavallo, Clayton Lewis, plus Piscopo and Lafondre, it's another bad week for the players with Victory star Jake Brimmer picking up what looks to be a serious knee injury. Perth Glory defender Darren Latchman suffering a serious head knock, and City star Matthew Leckie with a hamstring injury that will rule him out for at least a few weeks.
Yeah, disappointing. Jake Brimmer's a huge one. Hopefully, it's nothing long term. We're not too sure about it yet, but he's been playing some good football for the last 18 months. So very disappointed, and the others as well. Lecky out with a hamstring probably rules him out of the next Socceroos camp, the next international break. And Lackman as well. He went off with a head knock. So never good to see someone get stretchered off and put in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah, look, let's hope that they stop getting the injuries in the coming weeks and we get some of these star players back. But yeah, look, it's never great, and we wish them all the best with a speedy recovery. the 160 kilometre for AVM updates. So Superhuman Bulls physio Brendan Wyatt, our guest last week, his upcoming Herculean run on the 15th of April in memory of Bulls skipper Uli Davia's wife, Lily, to raise money for the Brown Foundation Australia. It was also his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday, legend. Brendan has been racking up the kilometres the past week in preparation for this Sunday's Orange Marathon, which he's hoping to run in under 3 hours. So this is his lead-in or fun run, as he calls it, leading into the 160-kilometre main event. But so far, he's raised just over $4,000. The target is 5K. But that only works out to be about $25 per kilometre. So surely, football fans, we can get behind him and this amazing cause. Please go to the mycause.com.au link we have set up in our Direct Me page to donate. We'll have another update next week on his run in Orange, but all the best, mate.
Yeah, all the best. I don't know if a marathon classifies to me as a fun run, but yeah, all the best to him. And like I said, it's going towards a good cause. So please donate. We'll drop the link in into our socials and whatnot, so you can jump on that and click in and donate anything you can.
Bravo. On the topic of Bull skipper Uli, it's great to see a player being rewarded for excellent performances in the NPL, with Arpia's former USA Youth International Jason Romero signed by the Bulls to replace their injured star. Romero joins the club in fine form after scoring 4 goals against Rockdale in his farewell game for the club.
Yeah, he's a good player. Been tremendous in the NPL in New South Wales in the last year and a half, and he fits the Bulls perfectly because he's a little pit bull terrier up top. He'll run all day, and he can finish as well. He's been scoring lots of goals at the start of this season in the NPL.
So while it's great for Romero and the Bulls, how do Arpia replace him? They've started the season in fantastic form. How do you replace a guy like that at such short notice?
It's difficult. Look, hopefully they've got some good young players ready to step up to first grade, maybe in the 20s or 18s, ready to go straight into first grade. It's going to be tough to replace a striker like that. He's a 20 goal a season striker, so very difficult to replace. They may have to go shopping in the next window.
Good luck with that. Aussies abroad were a little quieter this week, but not in Scotland. Ange Postecoglou and Aaron Moyes Celtic clinched the Scottish Cup final. Socceroo Jackson Irvine scores back-to-back goals, this time a thundering header in St. Pauli's 1-0 win over Hansa Rostock. Mitch Langerak with another clean sheet and a win in the J-League, while Matty Ryan started AZ Alkmaar's in AZ Alkmaar's 2-1 win, moving them back up to second.
Yeah, plenty of Aussies doing well abroad. Obviously, Ange and Aaron Moy winning the Scottish League Cup, so big win over Rangers. But like you said, Mitch Langerak doing some good things between the sticks in Japan to start the season. I think he's got 2 clean sheets now. Matty Ryan doing well in the Dutch Eredivisie, and also Riley McGree doing really well for Borough.
The Matildas win the Cup of Nations, easily defeating Jamaica 3-0 to claim the trophy undefeated. Fantastic, and it's also fantastic to see exciting young talent Alex Chidiac getting some game time and a goal.
Yeah, it was good. Look, the 3 from 3. You couldn't have asked for much more from these fixtures. I don't know about lifting a trophy at the end of it and celebrating like they've already won something. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Yes, it's good to win games and get that winning culture, but let's not go off celebrating too hard just yet.
Mate, you're a bit tough. Maybe, like I said, when Tony decides to step down, maybe you're the man to take over the Matildas, mate. You'll take no rubbish. Look at that. What whinging about 3 from 3, holding up a trophy. And like I said, the girls deserve something, don't they?
Yeah, look, they do, but at the end of the day, these are friendly football matches. I don't know. I've never got a trophy for winning a friendly football match before, so let's just peel it back a bit. Let's tone it down. They've still got a big job to do leading up and going into this World Cup. So, like I said at the start of the campaign, or when Gustafsson took over, he'll be judged at the end of this World Cup. So let's wait and see and hope. And I hear the first game at ANZ Stadium or Core Stadium now, or whatever it's called, has been sold out. So that's going to be a huge first game in the World Cup.
Yeah, bloody exciting. And mate, if you feel a bit left out because you've never got a trophy for winning anything in a friendly, maybe in our Football Revolution Secret Santa bag, you might get something this year.
Oh, look, I'll take whatever I can get, mate. I don't think I've lifted a trophy in a while, so swing 'em my way.
All right, PL news, goals to the impressive Casemiro and the PL's hottest star, Rashford, or slash own goal, hands Manchester United the EFL Cup, defeating Newcastle United 2-0. Ten Hag claimed his first trophy at the Red Devils. I know you're very excited by this, and as you said earlier, you're not going to get too carried away by it.
Yeah, look, it's a win. You've won a competition. It's great. You saw all the players celebrating after the game. Casemiro, a player that's won Champions Leagues and league titles or Liga titles. The way he was celebrating after the game, and the young guys as well. Like I said, it's all about building that winning mentality, that winning culture, and hopefully that's what Ten Hag is doing now. But like I said, if we go, 3, 4, 5, the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years without winning a Premier League or challenging for a Champions League, then where are we? What are we? Just a League Cup winning side. So yes, this is the beginning, but plenty more to come.
All right, back in the league, a second half goal to Gabriel Martinelli was enough to give Arsenal all 3 points away to Leicester and a place back at the top of the table. Manchester City with a comfortable 4-1 win at the Vitality Stadium to keep Bournemouth in the relegation zone, and Pep's men hot on the heels of Arsenal. London is all white, and I'm a bit excited, hence why I'm wearing my Spurs jersey after a stunning strike by Oliver Skipp, his first ever Premier League goal, and what a time. And another to Captain Kane, give bragging rights to Tottenham over bitter rivals Chelsea. And a Danny Ings brace helped West Ham to a big 4-0 win over Forest, moving them clear of the drop zone.
Yeah, some big matches, like you said. Spurs were good in the derby. Arsenal keeping their lead at the top, and some teams that are fighting for relegation now. Starting to win a few matches. So all to play for still. I know Arsenal are sitting comfortable at the top there, like you think, but a couple of weeks back we were saying City and United were pretty much right back in it. So all to play for, and I think this one's going to go right down to the wire.
Bring it on. Player escape room, the quality guests keep coming with one of Brisbane Roar's rising stars, no-nonsense defender James Nikolovski, joining us for a chat. Our A-League Women's Wrap is back after a small international break, and we have a look at match day 15, revolutionised roundup of the men's fixtures, and is there anything I didn't see? BIG.
Oh, look, you were talking about Ruben Zadkovic throwing punches before. I'm not sure if you're a boxing fan, but Ronaldo was at the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight today. So he was there watching, and he didn't look too impressed. But I did see a few photos floating around with him and Mike Tyson.
Was he wearing the Middle Eastern robes and the whole bits? I've seen him. He's really, really getting into this culture, and he looks like he's right at home playing over in the Middle East.
He wasn't. He was wearing some sort of fashion label. Can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but he was looking good.
Maybe that's what distracted Paul, and that's why he wasn't fully focused on the fight.
Yeah, possibly, or I don't know. It was good to see him get beat, to be honest. So
maybe he tripped over his mouth.
Maybe he did. I don't know. His jaw's that big. It was pretty hard to miss when you're throwing a punch at it. So.
All right, A-League Women's Wrap. So a Michelle Heyman double helps Canberra to a comfortable 3-0 home win over the Wanderers. They're third in a row and placing them within striking distance of the top 4. 2 goals to rising star Hannah Lowry hands the glory. Another win at Macedonia Park, giving their finals hopes a boost and damaging Brisbane's in the process. Sydney make hard work of their dominance in their clash with Wellington, needing a second half goal from substitute Rachel Lowe to steal an important 3 points for the away team. Western United showed no mercy or effects of a road trip as they thumped 10-men Newcastle Jets, showing why they were at opposite ends of the table. The final score was 6-0, if you can believe that. And a tough arm wrestle between great rivals ends with both teams having to settle for a point in a 2-2 draw. The result hurts Adelaide much more than it does Melbourne victory.
Yeah, some interesting results. Like you said, I think the big move is probably Perth Glory. I think they're 5 or 6 games undefeated now, so they're up to 18 points. There's still 5 points out of the 4. That they do have a couple games in hand. They'd have to win those 2 games in hand that they have on victory. But yeah, anything's possible. Big movers. They're playing out at Macedonia Park, and like the senior team, I guess they've been really strong at home.
Okay, quick look at the A-League Women's table. So Western United out in front on 33. Back in second is Sydney on 27. at Melbourne City, a further 2 points back on 25, and rounding out the top 4 in the final spots is their neighbours, Melbourne Victory on 23, Canberra United on 20. So our Smokies have come good with 3 wins on the trot, so they are back in the race. And in 5th is Perth Glory on 17. The Melbourne dominance of the league continues with all 3 teams in the top 4, and Western United closing in on an unbelievable debut season title. So my weekly wrap has been replaced by Shout Out, dedicating a weekly song to a team or a player for their good or bad performance. This week's Shout Out goes to a duo of Aussie young guns, Perth Glory's 19-year-old Hannah Lowry and Western United's 21-year-old Noah Bodic for their match-winning performances. Both players scored a brace and showed that age is just a number. The song we send to you is Danger Twins, a little left of field track, Showing Off.
Now you're just showing off. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. Now you're just showing off. I can't believe my eyes. Don't stop. Now you're just showing.
Good luck during the rest of the season, and you should be you could be the future stars of our national team. So plenty to be excited about after seeing both their performances, and also a quick mention to Nestori Irukunda, who has had a previous shout out for another ridiculous goal.
He doesn't score tap-ins, does he?
No, he just scores absolute worldies week in, week out, and I think he just will run out of room on his show reel.
Yeah, dead set, absolute bangers. But good to see the young forwards on the score sheet. And I thought you were going to give him a song, some sort of duet. I don't know, from Grease Lightning or something like that.
Look, I don't think for one second they were showing off or trying to, but I think the song's appropriate because they are just the way they play. Without trying, they are showing off because they're damn good and they're potential stars of the future. So it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I think when you hear the track, you'll see that it's a really cool track for them to be dedicated to for this week. So moving on to our A-League men's table, the front runners, Melbourne City, are out on 37 points. They've played one less game. There's a real logjam behind them. Central Coast on goal difference in second on 28. The Wanderers in third on 28. Adelaide United in fourth on 28. 3 points further back are the Phoenix on 25. And a point further back, rounding out the top 6, is Sydney FC on 24. Sydney extends their lead at the top while only 4 points split second spot to seventh spot. A shootout for the other top 2 spot is on, and some huge games coming up starting this weekend.
Yeah, look, it's City out there alone by themselves, and like you said, a bit of a logjam behind that with 3 teams on 28 all chasing them. I'm not sure any are going to get any close. I think the title or the premiership is City's for the taking now, and it's probably looking like, you know, maybe Newcastle or Sydney, and Newcastle, Sydney, Wellington will probably be battling out for 2 spots in the for 5th and 6th. So. A little bit happening. Macarthur obviously a bit further back in Brisbane Roar, but Macarthur have been disappointing for me, especially in the last 2 weeks. And Brisbane, they got a win on the weekend, so they may be able to turn around and make a late charge.
Okay, so our Revolutionised Round-Up, we select a match of the day each and a mini review. We look at, in the main match, we look at the score, the goal scorers, players of the game, the turning point, and what we would have changed, Coach Gio or VIG, to get a result from that game. So the first game was the Central Coast Mariners versus the Wellington Phoenix on Friday. That's a game that I went to. It was a fantastic game, really enjoyable. The final score was 1-1. The home team, Central Coast, were reduced to 9 men as Wellington's deadly marksman, Oscar Zawada, scores a late goal to steal a point for his team to take back across the ditch. It was 2 quality teams playing with final style intensity, and Mariners coach Monty making it 3 red cards for the Mariners.
It's gone the hat trick. Yeah, it was an exciting game of football, end to end. Obviously, the red card. I don't know. What do you think of Caltech's red card? Yes or no?
Look, I think it might have been a bit harsh, but I think that's his 3rd red this year, right? So I suppose that you're only as good as your driving record. So you can say you were drink driving, maybe not the first time, but the 2nd and 3rd, I don't know if you can get away with that, especially if you've got an empty beer can next to you in the passenger seat. So look, I think just by sheer weight of numbers, look, if he's been done harshly this time, it's just him in the wrong place at the wrong time again. So look, it definitely changed, I think, the complexity of the game. It meant they had to sacrifice Cummings and make a more defensive style switch. But I think, look, at the end of the day, they're 2 really good teams who will both be there, I think, at the end of the season. And it was entertaining. But look, I think, you know, some of those bounces go your way and some don't go your way. And in this case, maybe it didn't go the Mariners' way. in regards to Maresh's red card, it was very harsh, but you can't put your fingers in someone else's face. It's really simple, whether you like the rule or you don't like the rule. And as for Monty, I don't know if he did a lot, but I don't think it helps when you've got the rest of your posse there all yelling and screaming at the referee. I know they were frustrated, but having 4 guys yelling at the same time just looks like a choir of people that are trying to take the ref down. So I think he just had too many voices. And so for him, he just decided cut off the head of the snake and get rid of the head coach. And I don't think it quietened them down, but look, at least he sort of sent a message to them. Maybe it gave him a little bit of a reprieve from the Mariners bench. But look, an excellent game at that. So moving on to the first of the Saturday games, it was Melbourne City hosting Sydney FC. What happened here, VIG?
Yeah, look, this is going to be my feature game. Obviously, plenty of goals in this one. Finished 3-2 to City. Goal scorers for City, McLaren with a double, Tilio with 1, and then for Sydney it was Robert Mack and Diego Caballo late on. So player of the match for me, I've got a split vote between McLaren and Tilio. Tilio was back to his best, and I think he was out with a bit of a point to prove against his old employers. He's been hot and cold this season, but he's really starting to find some form now, and he's been really electric. J Mac as well. I think he just needed to remind everyone that he's the best striker in the league. He's the man. He's closing in on Besart Berisha's records, and I'll wind it back a little bit. We've got a bit of VIG stats, man, that I'm going to throw in now. I think McLaren has scored 133 goals in the league. Berisha's scored 132. They've both scored 5 goals apiece in finals. The only real big difference maker is that Besart Berisha has scored 5 goals in a grand final. It's Jamie McLaren's 0. So if City go all the way this year, if they make it to the grand final again, I'm putting my money on J-Mac to score in the grand final, and he's going to pass that record this year, and then he'll get one in the grand final as well.
The scary part is, Tilio has been a bit quiet the last few weeks. J-Mac wasn't on the score sheet in previous weeks. You've got, other guys shining, and now all of a sudden they're back in form. Berengay looks like he's starting to get himself up to speed. That first ball that he whipped in for McLaren was absolute perfection. And you've just got guys all across the park. You've got young Boss starting to really come into his own. So, look, it's going to take a hell of a team. If you can knock City off this year, you deserve whatever you win, right?
Yeah, 100%. Look, they're out there on their own at the moment, top of the league, best team in the league. They're playing, some of the best football. But yeah, in this one, the turning point for me, it was Tilio's goal in the 13th minute to go 2-0 up. What a run, what a finish. You just can't give City a 2-goal lead in the first 15 minutes. They're going to punish you, and it's a big mountain to climb for Sydney to come back from that. We know what he's capable of doing. We know he's dangerous when he picks up the ball in space, but to allow him to run almost full length of the pitch and then cut in and finish, and if he keeps this form up for the rest of the season, there's no reason why he's not getting a move to Europe at the end of the season.
Yeah, not news that City wants to hear, but it's a reality, right?
Yeah, 100%. And look, what I would have changed. I know Sydney are a little bit short up top with Lafondra out, but I would have started Patrick Wood. He's an out-and-out striker. He's a proper number 9. You play Mac up there. I think you lose a bit, for a little bit from the width. So I would have played Wood from the start, played Mac out wider in his more natural position, and then that means you would have brought Max Burgess into a more central position next to Caceres and have Braddon behind him. So I would have gone with that from the start.
Tell me this then. I know we don't have a crystal ball, either Sydney or Correca or anyone there, so we don't know what was going to happen to Lafondre. But why didn't Sydney go out and get another striker in the window? Like, if you want to be one of the big teams, if you want to be able to push, in all forms of the game, whether it be cups or whether it be, the Asian Champions League, why do you only have 2 strikers there, Lafondre and Wood? That's all you got.
Yeah, look, I don't know if they've got faith in the others, but I don't see Mac or anyone else in that side really stepping up and scoring week in, week out from now until the end of the season. I think they're going to struggle to find goals from their number 9. Patrick Wood's a young player who's been on the scene for a little while now. If you don't have faith in him, then yes, they should have gone out and got another number 9. but they haven't. So put your faith in him, play him, give him a run of games, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, but you go and get another left fullback, right? So you got Caballo, who's a good player, and you go and get King now on loan. So you start loading up on left fullback and different positions, but you don't load up on strikers, which, they can be in and out of form. So there's more chance they're not performing and you need to rotate them or, give one of them a bit of a jolt by starting someone over him. So look, I'm confused why they didn't go into the market and get another striker. But last question before we move on to the next game. Will Sydney gain confidence from fighting back from 2-0 down away to the champions to only lose 3-2? And they gifted City their third goal, right? So in actual fact, the score could have been 2-2. Or is it just that City were too good and maybe Sydney, it was a glorified loss. Like I said, they got a late second goal, make it 3-2 instead of 3-1? Or do you think Sydney will get a lot of confidence out of that?
No, to be honest, I think it's a glorified loss. You saw the players at the end when Caballo scored the goal. They weren't celebrating. They weren't happy. It was pretty much get the ball, go back to halfway, and it was full time anyway. So, we probably saw this coming last week with the result against Brisbane as well. They looked a bit flat. I think that they've got a lot of work to do. They're sitting 6th at the moment. And they're going to have a real fight on their hands to get a final spot this season again.
Okay, moving on to the next of the Saturday games. It was the Newcastle Jets versus Western United. This is my match of the day. So the final score was 3-1 to the away team, Western United. Goal scorers were Bodic in the 3rd and the 29th. Mikkel Tartsa pulled one back from the spot in the 33rd. And then Doumbia with a header in the 72nd to put the game to bed. For me, it was a close call like yours for two men at opposite ends of the park for Western United. But Noah Bodic's double edges out the human force field Jamie Young. 2 goals in 70 minutes. Not a bad day's work for the young Socceroo.
Not bad at all. And, he's getting a run of games now, Noah Bodic, and he's playing in a team with experienced players behind him that are helping him out and supporting him and giving him good service as well. So, he's thriving up top there, maybe a few other teams should be doing the same with their younger players.
For me, the turning point of the game, Newcastle Jets point moves them into the top 6, but they concede 2 early goals, and the marking was very pedestrian. Like, I don't know what they were doing. They let Bodic, and like I said, hats off to the young fella. He's gone in there and got himself his first A-League double, but the marking for a team that is just on the cusp of a top 6 who have fought all year was just absolute rubbish.
Yeah, it was, and they can probably have Jack Duncan to save him as well. I think he pulled off a couple of good saves as well to keep him, keep the scoreline respectable. So, just not enough desperation for me from the Newcastle defence, and there's some experienced players in that back line as well. So, sometimes you got to put your body on the line and you got to get in front of players and you've got to push and you've got to scrap, and there was not enough of that for me on the weekend.
And what I would have changed, look, to be honest, they're a coach killer. 1 week excellent, the next week horrible. You can change the lineup, you can give a great team talk, but who knows what team's going to take the pitch for the Jets each week. So are we missing something, VIG? Is there something we're missing here? Because like I said, you think after watching them 1 week, these guys are on a run now, they could be a top 4 team. And then next week you think they're lucky if there was relegation, they could be absolute candidates to get kicked out of the first division.
Yeah, look, the hardest thing in football is to be consistent week in, week out. There's only a small percentage of teams that you can throw under that umbrella that are week in, week out. The whole team performs. You see it all over world football. Teams are up and down. They're winning 1 week, losing 1 week, winning the 1 week. So it's very hard to find that consistency. But I think one thing that you need to keep a team together and to keep a team consistent is leaders, and I think maybe Newcastle just lacking a few leaders in that team at the moment.
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens between now and the end of the season. But moving on to the last of the Saturday games, it was the battle of the Wild Wild West. It was Western Sydney Wanderers up against Macarthur Bulls. And what was the score here?
Yeah, it was absolute. Macarthur got a bit of a bath out at Combank Stadium on Saturday night, didn't they? They copped a storm last week, but got an absolute bath this week. It was a disastrous start with the noon red card, 5 minutes in or whatever it was, and they just couldn't cope with the Wanderers after that with 10 men. and we said this last week, I think if the Wanderers can get all the pieces of the puzzle firing now, especially in midfield, then I think they're the only team that can challenge City in the finals.
Looked really good, didn't he?
Yeah, they did. Look, they've got a bit of depth now. We said they've scored 4 goals from midfield or wingers Borello, Amalfitano, Schneiderlin, and Neuenhoff. They got Oli Bozanic coming off the bench, Cassini Yengi coming off the bench. They've got a lot of depth. Leuni, the new striker winger they brought in, he looks a bit of a player as well. So they're scoring lots of goals, and we said this last week. They went away to Adelaide. They scored 4 goals and they conceded 4. That you should never, when you go away from home and score 4 goals, you should never lose a football match. So they obviously worked on their defensive side this week. Yes, they played against 10 men for the majority of their match. And look, MacArthur, let's be honest, MacArthur, they were toothless. They didn't have anything.
Were the Wanderers really good, or were the Bulls really, really bad?
Yeah, look, I think the Wanderers were good, but I think the Bulls, they go down to 10 men after a couple of minutes, and I think it's literally game over from there.
Yeah, look, without Uli, I don't see them featuring in the finals. So for the rest of the season, it's just a matter of them playing for some pride and hoping that they can get some results for their fans. Moving on.
Well, one question before we move on: Brandon Borello, does he get a Socceroos call up? Is he in the next squad? Is he in the reckoning?
Yeah, 100%. The way he's playing at the moment, he's taken a lead in the front third for the Wanderers, and I don't think that's his preferred position or where I'd be playing him. I think he's definitely a winger. He's been taking the lead without a real recognised striker, and so he's playing. He's added a new string to his bow. If it's not his preferred position for me, and it's not where I think he's best suited, but I think he's proven that he's done a great job of filling in that role. But I think if you're moving back out to the wing, I think he could really cause some handfuls for the Socceroos opposition.
Yeah, definitely. Look, his engine's phenomenal. He runs all day, and now, like you said, he's adding goals to his game and assists. So. Potentially, I think he's in with the shout for the next squad.
Yeah, most definitely. Moving on to the first of the 2 Sunday games, it was Melbourne Victory versus Adelaide United. The final score here was 1-1. Plenty of goalmouth action, but it took another Iracunda rocket launcher from Adelaide's wonder kid to cancel out Fornaroli's opener for the victory from the spot. Neither team was able to land a knockout punch, but I suppose in one of these fierce rivalries that sometimes a draw is not too bad. Both sets of fans go home not happy, but at least there's not one happy and one sad.
Yeah, look, it was probably a fair result in the end. Adelaide will be disappointed. I don't know what you thought of the penalty. It was obviously a coming together of bodies. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, look, I've seen them not given. So, look, it could have gone either way. I think at the moment that the refs, like I said, are trying their best to try and get the right results. I don't know if maybe the heat's, they're struggling a little bit from the heat, and maybe the players are finding it super hot. They're going to be finding it 10 times hotter when they're nowhere near as fit or at elite fitness level as the players. So look, if it wasn't given, I would have been okay with it, and if it was given, I was okay with it. So I think it was really a borderline decision, and fortunately, it went in the way of the victory. But I suppose the football gods have evened it out, and Iracunda's decided that a draw was the right result, at least for his team to get 1 point, and he spanked one past the victory keeper. But look, I think that's probably put an end to any hope of the Victory trying to get anywhere near a final spot, and Adelaide just need to be more consistent. The 1 week they bagging 3 points and they look like they can really make a challenge, and the next week they drop 3 and they start hovering around the bottom of the 6. So they've just got to find some consistency. Moving on to the last of the Sunday games, it was the Brisbane Roar versus Perth Glory. The Roar with their new interim coach Nick Green, their first game under him. How did you see this one?
Yeah, it was a new dawn and a new day for Brisbane, I guess. They got up with the 2-1 win after going 1-0 down to a nice Jack Clisby goal. And then it was the captain, Tommy Aldred, and the ex-Perth youth team player, Henry Hall, with the winner. Look, obviously the appointment of Nick Green during the week to take over from Warren Moon, so that the players have reacted to that. They needed to show something. And I think their captain, the skipper, was tremendous. I think Aldred, he led from the front. It wasn't always pretty. They had to dig deep in the end, and especially after going a goal down. But they played some good football, I think, and a little bit of exciting football. I think maybe Nick Green's going to let the young, take the shackles off the young kids and free them up a little bit. I know under Warren Moon they'll very defensive, very solid, especially before Christmas, leading up into the first couple of games of the season. That they were very structured and worked in their lines and didn't really get to express themselves too much. So I think under this coach, I think the shackles are off a little bit, and I think they're going to enjoy themselves and enjoy their football a little bit more.
I was going to ask you, what did you think of Roar under their new coach? But I think that gives them a bit of a green tick there and says that you were impressed by what you saw. And I think there's even better things to come. They've got Joe Knowles, who wasn't available for this game. And I think they've got a few other players that they need to get back in the squad. But yeah, look, it was definitely a much improved performance. And usually a changing coach does get a result. But I think it was more so about the way they played, as you said, rather than just getting that 2-1 victory. I think the way they played showed a totally different style of football. And it's only been a week, but good signs for the Roar. So, look, that's the end of our Revolutionised Round-Up. Up after the break, we welcome to the player escape room Brisbane Roar talented defender James Nikolovski. We'll see you after the break.
You're listening to the Football Revolution.
Joining us now in the player escape room is a young man who is one of the Roar's rising stars. Please welcome to the show Brisbane Roar's no-nonsense defender, James Nikolovski. G'day, James. Welcome to the show.
How's it going, Gio? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. How's things? Roar treating you well? The nice Queensland weather. How's everything up there?
Roar's treating me well. The weather, I can't complain. Just a bit hot sometimes during training, but better for it. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
Mate, firstly, congratulations on being upgraded to an A-League scholarship deal. You must be very excited. It's a great reward for a lot of hard work, and not just for you, but also for your family.
Yeah, very, very privileged to be where I am today. And I just thank Roar for the opportunity and believing in me. I've been with them for a year now, and just it's been great. It's been great. Everyone around the club so supportive, and they push you to limits that I didn't know I could reach. And it's been good. It's been a dream of mine to play for the A-League, play in the A-League, and I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunity. So I'm really appreciative for them.
Mate, look, I do think it's great that the Roar are giving young talent in this country an opportunity, but also a lot of credit goes to you, mate, and your family, because it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes leaving your mates, and especially for you being from Sydney, you've had to go up there, leave all your friends and family behind. So it's not an easy thing. And I know a lot of people, like my son included, think you just look at FIFA and they're going, I want to be a footballer, but it's not that easy. So, mate, hats off to you. Absolutely shows the sort of character you are, and hopefully, like I said, it works out for you in the long run.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mate, you're in good form last season before a hip injury interrupted, but you bounced back to be awarded NPL Player of the Year, which was an amazing achievement. Tell us how you tackled that setback to become, to come back so strong, because it's not easy coming back from an injury, especially one that keeps you out long term.
Yes. So when I did move to the Raw, it was unfortunate, but I did get a hip injury. As you said, it was longer than expected, and especially being away from home, and you got to take care of yourself and the rehab and make sure you're on top of it non-stop. Try and get back on the park. It's a tough. The dark times do pass. It was very hard, especially when I had the hip injury. I did go back to training and hurt it again. Had to sit out another week. Went back, hurt it again, sit out another week, and then eventually started playing again and took my opportunity. But it's just staying on top of it, and your mentality has to be the best it can be, and your attitude just has to keep. You just have to keep remembering that it will pass. And just stay on top of it and get back on the park and just show what you can do.
Mate, if we can ever work out how to bottle someone's mentality, you and I have got a massive side business, because like I said, mate, you're trying to teach young players all the time about staying in the fight, and it's not easy. It's bloody hard, but mate, you've done a cracking job of it, and it just goes to show how quality you are on off the pitch, and mate, you deserve all the success you're getting. Great win on the weekend against Perth. A nice start for the new interim coach, Nick Green, and the team.
Yeah, it was a great win. Great 3 points, and a big 3 points we needed. It's been a positive training week this week with Nick and Joe coming in, just buzzing around and just all about being positive and just playing forward and having each other's backs out there, and just a few new tactics coming into play. And it was really great to get the win at home in front of a good crowd. And yeah, it was a great experience. I was fortunate enough to sit on the bench. But even though you don't get any minutes, it's just so good to be around the boys, and when the winning feeling is just, it doesn't get better than that.
Mate, your time will come, my friend. But you obviously had a good week, the first week leading up to the Glory game. What was the main message the gaffer gave the team after taking over so quickly after Warren Moon's exit?
Just about being positive and just having each other's backs, and little things like if someone does something wrong on the pitch, you will find a way to fix it. If they beat our press, we'll find a way to recover back in. Just stuff like that. Find a way, being positive. The chat this week's been great. All the boys just on top of each other, just pushing each other to limits. And like I said, the 3 points just sealed it off after a good week of training.
Mate, it's a dream start for the interim coach as well as the team after a tough couple of weeks and obviously Warren leaving and it creates a lot of uncertainty around the club. But the thing is, it probably was happening for a period of time. So obviously it's been dragging the team down. But it's great to get a win so easily, because the longer it takes, the longer it is before you get a victory. But mate, you've said that Tommy Aldridge, Scott Neville, there's been some other really good mentors to you, which doesn't surprise me at all, because you can see the way they lead on the pitch and how good they are off the pitch. Is there a player at the Roar or football in general that you look up to?
Yeah, definitely. Tommy Aldridge. Just holding down that centre-back role, the skipper, just leading by example, game in, game out. He's had an incredible season this year. Just the way he talks and the way he takes care of his body. But this goes towards Scott Neville as well. Just the way they just produce themselves on the pitch and the way they push each other at training, and the communication on and off the pitch is just top notch. And the way they get the boys prepared for the game and the way they train every day, just 100%, giving 100% every time. And it's just the little things like extras after training. They'll ask me some questions. They'll put me in some extras with them, some drills after training, and it's just quality. They're just two quality lads, and they're on and off the pitch. Like I said, just their attitude. It's just great to be around them and learn off them.
Mate, you may have already answered this question, but is there a player you've moulded your game on? I know you look up to both these players, but is there someone, could be a global star, it could be someone, in the Premier League, could be someone in the A-League that you've moulded your game on?
Probably Thiago Silva, honestly. He's 38 years old and he's just an absolute beast. His communication, like yesterday I watched the Tottenham versus Chelsea game and he came off injured. And as he was walking off injured, he's still organising a corner and the defence, and he's walking off, limping off. He's just a warrior. He's just a warrior, and the way he tackles, his positioning, his heading ability, it's just some player that I look up to and I want to be like eventually.
Mate, if you can even achieve a quarter of what he has, you'd be doing just fine. But we were both excited about this morning's game, you, because you're watching the way that he communicated. He went off, and me being a Spurs fan, I was loving that he was going off. So
I'm also a Spurs fan.
I was loving that he was going off.
I'm also a Spurs fan. So I didn't want him to be injured long term, but if he was going to be off for this game, I'm all for it.
Mate, just take the game. I was happy for a few others to go off too, but considering they're the only team that's got a 100% record up until this morning at Spurs Stadium, it was great to finally get one over them and give us a little bit of breathing space.
That was a great win.
We're on the same page. Mate, one last one before this is the homework out the way, and then we can get into some fun stuff. As fun as this is, you have North Macedonian heritage, but you're also a proud Australian. If Macedonia's national team came knocking, and so did the Socceroos, what jersey do we see you in?
It'd have to be a Socceroos jersey. I've grown up in Australia my whole life. Last World Cup and how the country just went mad for them. I loved it, and yeah, it'd have to be Socceroos, especially because now I'm in the A-League now as well, and what I've always dreamed about playing in. And yeah, if they both came knocking, I would have to go Socceroos, definitely. I'm
loving that answer, and so are the Australian football fans, considering you're one of the rising stars of the A-League. All right, mate, we've got that out the way. So you pass that with flying colours. You ready to get into our first of the two games we like to play, which is 6-a-side, where I'll ask you 6 questions comparing you and your Brisbane Roar teammates?
Definitely. Let's do it.
All right, mate. Who has better taste in music, you or Jordan Holmes?
It'd have to be Jordan Holmes. He's the DJ in the change room. He's always on it. It's quality music, and yeah, he's got good taste. It's a bit of everything as well. It can go from house to R&B to anything you want, and he loves it. And yeah, I'd go Jordan Holmes.
Mate, like I said, I randomly just pick these players out to try and make it, as realistic as possible. So I don't know how. I never got tipped off. I never got tipped off. No one's told me you're the first Raw player I've had this year. No one has tipped me off on this game, so I'm quite impressed. I got 1 from 1. But
that's crazy. Yeah, he's the DJ. He's straight on it every time.
Are you any chance of ever inheriting it once you get yourself more established in the setup, or Jordan Holmes is just lock, stock, and two smoking?
Once I get established, maybe, but it's a big risk. What
What would you play if you were able to be the main man in the music box? What would you be playing? Similar to him, or have you got your own style?
I'd go house party, house music, but also throw a bit of country in there just early morning starts. You know,
Okay. Are you a bit of a country fan?
I'm a bit of a country fan.
Okay.
I'm driving early in the morning, especially because I'm up in Gold Coast. I have to drive to Brisbane for training, and I carpool with some of the boys, Tommy Aldred specifically, and we play a bit of country on the way there early mornings. You know, just to just to get ready for the day.
I love that, mate. I never knew that. So there we go. There's something I've learned today already. Who is more likely to be late to training or to the airport for an away game? You or Carlo Armiento?
It's got to be Carlo. I'm a time freak.
Oh, you are? Are you always on time?
I'm a time freak. I'm always on time. I want to be the earliest there, especially being one of the younger players. I want to be the first couple in there. Carlo does come early, but I'd beat him to it. Definitely.
Right. Is there somebody there who's absolute rubbish? Is there someone who's never, like at Sydney, for example? I know that it's the Lolly man, right? So Joe Lolly, they reckon that he, other than the first time he came to an event where he just tested the waters, he's rubbish, right? He can't get to time to anything on time. Is there someone who's really bad there that you just know is a chance of missing even getting on the plane to go to the game?
If there has to be someone, I'd go Geordie Holmes.
Okay, Holmes as well. So is that he's putting his playlist together?
He's a character. Oh, I love Holmesy. Yeah, he'd definitely be the one. Got to give him that.
All right, mate. This is an important one for me. Who would do a better job minding my kids and my dogs? You or Henry Hoare?
Hannah's or
you?
I'd go me.
Okay.
I'd go me. Hannah's is very, very, very good with that as well. I'd give him that as well, but I'd take the reins on that. But Hannah's is good as well. But
I know what you're in for. I've got two 11-year-olds, a boy and a girl, and I've also got two labs. So one who's almost 1 and one who's 14. So, like I said, I don't know. I think the pup's the only one that will give you a hard time. The others would be, well, especially my son, he'd be super impressed. You're an A-League player, and he'd probably get you playing some video games or something. So,
Hannah's can take care of the dogs. I'll take care of the children.
All right, mate. Beautiful. We'll take that deal. Who is the better roommate, you or Joe Knowles? So tell me, who's your current roommate? Who do you room with on?
If I go on a away trip, it would be Louis Zabala.
Okay, and what about who does Joe hang out with?
He usually goes with Scott Neville.
Okay,
them two. Sometimes they carpool to training and sort. I'd be a better roommate.
Okay.
Joe Knowles, he's on my case as well.
I was going to say, what does Scott Neville tell you about him? Is he quiet? Is he too noisy? Does he not want to go to bed? Is he on his phone late? Why don't you want to be with him?
Joe Knowles, he's always on my case.
Okay.
Even in the change room, he's always on my case. If we room together, it'd be absolute chaos.
Okay.
Too many laughs, but he's a funny man. He's a character as well. He's good.
Anyone would think I've had some inside intel here with these ones.
You're picking out. You hit the nail on the head, honestly.
Who trains harder in the gym, you or Jordan Courtney Perkins?
JCP.
Yeah.
JCP is quality.
Is he a beast in the gym?
He's a beast. Especially he's signed in Poland. And he's on loan at the Roar. He was telling me some stories about how much they focus on gym in Europe as well, and they care about the muscle and the strength and everything like that. He's a beast in the gym as well. He's quality on and off the pitch. Yeah, definitely.
That was a bad one for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, you killed me on that one. Killed me.
Sorry,
I work hard in the gym as well, but he's a hard worker. Hard worker.
Who would be a better superhero, you or Jack Ingot?
Jack Ingot. So he's the super dad now. He's got Billy on. He's got a baby now, Billy. Yeah, he'd be the better superhero. Jack Ingot is quality.
Who would you compare him to? Is there a superhero out there that you think that he's similar to? Or what would be his superpower?
Probably Shazam.
Okay.
Probably Shazam. He'll just say the word and he'll turn into a superhero. Just simple as that.
Yeah.
With the hair as well.
Yep.
The hair as well, always slicked back, looking good. Yeah, it's got to be Jack.
All right, mate. And one bonus one. Tell me one thing you know you're much better at than a teammate. So anything here, you can just tell me that as soon as you came from Sydney up to the Roar, you were like, I'm heaps better at this than this person.
Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, actually.
Mate, throw your hero. Mr. Captain here, Mr. Judge Eldred, under the bus here. Tell me what you're better at than him.
Better at than him?
Are you funnier than him?
Nah, he's got the UK banter on lock.
Okay.
With the Pom accent, he's got too much banter for me. What am I better than him?
I can tell you're nicer than some of the players, guaranteed. So yeah, I could almost pick a handful of players here. You're a nicer guy than them.
Yeah, I'm definitely that. I'll say I'm nicer, but he's got everything on the pitch. He's got the communication, the heading ability. He's got me on lock at the moment, but I'm slowly creeping up, hopefully. And yeah, but
this is my job. I'm going to find something now. You know what? I'm going to dig, and one week I'm going to put it on the show. I'm going to let you know when it happens. I'm going to find something that you're better at than him. I guarantee there's many things. I'm going to find at least one of them.
He's a machine. I'm trying to.
You must have better table manners, something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We're gonna go to the little stuff.
Yeah, something.
The little stuff. We'll go to the table manners and being first in, last out.
Okay.
So off the pitch, I'm on the pitch last, and then I'm out of the change room near last as well. So I'll give them that. I'm early. I'm nice and early.
There you go, Captain Aldred. Stick that
there
one.
You go.
Yeah.
Right. Pop that one, mate.
All right, mate. Let's move on to the second game we like to play, which is called 1-2. I'll give you a sentence or a couple of words, and you just tell me in 2 words or less your thoughts on the following topic.
Okay, let's do it.
Talking during a movie.
No way.
Okay.
Don't do it.
What happens if someone starts talking and James Nikolovski goes, nah, this is not going to happen? What happens in the movie? Do they get popcorn on their head, or do they get asked to leave, or maybe go into your famous Insta page and start ratting them out?
Mate, if you don't want to watch the movie and you want to chat, that's for the other room. Head away. It's a movie. It's quiet. It's relaxed time. Get out of here. Don't talk. Leave.
Right. Is there a preferred teammate you like to go to the flicks with?
Oh, Louis Zabala.
Okay.
Louis Zabala. Yeah.
Do you have the same taste in movies?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I'm more of a movie fanatic, but if there's something I suggest, he's on it. He will watch it. I've given him.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite genre of movie? Are you a Star Wars fan?
I'm a comedy fan. I love like dry humor stuff like Step Brothers or like Blades of Glory, just the one-liner movies like Dodgeball, just stuff like that. I love those movies.
All right, mate. Your skills in the kitchen. Now you're busy by yourself, right? So hopefully there's some ability there.
I cook a good pasta now. Took me a while at the start. Cook a good pasta. Look, I don't mind the meats. Can cook a good steak, but that's about it. That's all I have in my locker. Just the straight cut.
When you say good pasta, I'm Italian background. I can cook okay.
Oh no!
Tell me what it is. What's your dish? Tell me what your go-to dish is.
It's got penne and mincemeat. As simple as that. Just a penne mincemeat. That's it. That's my main.
I'm sending you a recipe because I'll be honest, like I said, look, not that you need to get married because it'll just distract you from your football career. But like I said, you need to have something in there to impress the ladies. So I'm going to send you something.
Turn it all over.
Okay.
It's tough.
Video games.
Oh, I love a bit of Call of Duty.
Okay.
The crazy thing is FIFA now, I got off it a little bit, but then I saw myself on career mode. Now I'm starting to self-career mode.
Okay. I say, my young fella, at least he didn't call it CODs. He keeps coming up to me saying, I've got off FIFA and I'm playing CODs. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but he's obsessed like you with FIFA. But if he was on there, I'd never get him off. So I'm hoping that even if he does ever get on there, I'm going to delete him. Seriously, I'm going to get him off before he finds out that he's on the game. But have you started career mode as yourself?
Yeah, I had to. I've started off career mode. I had to organise a fee with the club, the max fee.
Tell me, what's harder, real life football or managing your career on FIFA?
I got to give it real life football, but managing career is a little tough on FIFA as well. Some hard decisions.
All right, singing at karaoke.
Oh, I love karaoke. I love a good sing.
Are you good though? Are you good?
I'm half decent. I like to think my initiation at the Roar was all right. I got the team singing along with me.
Okay. How'd you do that? How did you get the team? Because it's not easy to get, especially when the guys are happy to play pin the tail on a donkey with the new boy, right? It's not easy. So how did you get
when you stand up on that chair? It's the most nerve-wracking thing ever, and everyone, coaches, the whole team, just looking at you. I sung a classic, so I was really, really dwelling on what to sing and what to pick here because it's a crucial stage. So I picked "Stand By Me."
Quality. It's good.
When I went into the chorus, got the whole got all of them singing with me, and finished it off after that. Yeah, it was pretty good.
You must have had a crystal ball, because when you got the hip injury, right, you were asking him to stick by you and make sure that they wait until you get on the pitch. So I think you already knew. Maybe you wished the bad luck on yourself?
Got it on purpose.
All right. Celebrity crush, male, female, it could be sport, actor, anything.
Look, if we're gonna go actor, we'll go Margot Robbie.
Okay. All right. I've heard that a few times. James.
She's Australian as well. She's in some cracking films. Yeah.
All right. The thing that makes you laugh the most?
Dry humor, one-liners, just some dry one-liners like dad jokes and stuff like that. I love it.
Who has the dad jokes at the Roar?
It's got to be Tommy.
Tommy has them again,
especially because he's a dad now as well. I've spent more time with him just because we drive from Gold Coast to Brisbane, and I'm learning a lot more about him. And yeah, he's got some good one-liners, good dad jokes.
I'm just thanking the Lord, the same as your parents are, that he's a top guy and a great influence, right? Because if he wasn't, we'd be in a world of pain.
Yeah, definitely.
Whoever's idea that was is a genius idea.
Genius. It was good. It just all fitted in.
Who would be, if we had to name a player, is there one player that we're just so glad you weren't carpooled with? Is someone that would just get you in all sorts, like I said, because they're late or because they eat rubbish, or is there somebody there that we just would have been so happy that you avoided?
Geordie Holmes.
Again, all right. So
it's got to be Holmes for being late. He's a time dweller. But yeah, the Geordie Holmes. I'm an early freak. I got to be early, and when I'm not early, I cop it. I cop it good. So okay. Geordie Holmes.
Playing a World Cup or the Champions League?
World Cup. Representing, nothing's better than representing the country.
Okay.
It's got to be, yeah.
If we can do both, that'd be a double bucket list. But
that'd be ideal.
Still
yeah, definitely.
All right, we'll just take World Cup and maybe even Europa. That'd be a great career.
Hopefully Tottenham can play Champions League this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as it's not Spurs, Europa will be happy, right?
They put enough like a heartbreak in for us, and they're on and off. But yeah, hopefully play Champions League.
All right, something not many people know about you.
Something many people might know.
Are you a reality TV fan, or is there something that?
Probably just my story. Honestly, people just see that you're at Brisbane Roar now, just the little stuff like that, and that why aren't you playing it so easy? The A-League, this, but just a story, and people don't know much about it, and hoping to share that with the youth eventually, and just show what it takes. Especially when I came from Westfield Sports High, I was fortunate enough to call my coach from there, and they were talking about how just through the youth stages, your attitude and everything like that, just getting to the top.
Do you want to be a coach one day? I know it's a long way off. You got plenty of years left in football career, but you want to be a coach?
Definitely coaching. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to share the knowledge around, especially if I can kick on with my career. It'd be great to share knowledge around after learning a lot.
Okay. And last one, what motivates you to work hard? Family the most. My grandparents as well, always been by my side, especially leaving them. They're North Macedonian, and sometimes one of them doesn't even speak English. The other does, and leaving them, they don't even know what's going on practically. When I tell them I'm on a contract, they wouldn't know. But leaving them and not seeing them for a long time, definitely family, and just I owe it all to my family. My parents putting through the hard yards, the sacrifices. The 6 months I had to train with the A-League, I couldn't work a normal job or anything like that. It was tough on my parents as well, but it was all the sacrifices, and it's all worked out in the end, and so grateful for everything. When the A-League draw comes out, I'm sure your parents are sitting there circling all the Sydney games.
Yeah, so next week we've got Macarthur. So if we can I benched against Newcastle, and I had all my uncles, my friends, family drive down to Newcastle to come see me after the game. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good result, so I didn't get to stick around with them, but it was good to see them.
Mate, I'm sure, like I said, when anyone asks you, your parents, what are you up to this weekend? They go, hang on a sec, let me look at the A-League draw. We're just going to see where James is this week, and we'll tell you if we're free or not. But mate,
get him on the Paramount.
Yeah, as I told you off air, mate, my languages is -10. I'm rubbish at languages, but I can guarantee you this. I don't speak Macedonian, but your grandparents are extremely proud of you, mate. So what you're doing at the moment is fantastic, and I'm sure, like I said, whether they understand it or not, they are deep down there so proud of you, same as your family is. So, mate, just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. Just keep working hard and just keep my head down and keep working.
Mate, like I said, you're already a star. You've smashed this one. Like I said, I've had season campaigners that have come on and tripped over. I haven't been able to trip you up once, so I haven't been able to even catch you
Tripped
out.
me up a couple of times. Those matchups were, you don't understand, they were perfect matchups.
Mate, I do my homework. I try to do as much as I can to make sure it's realistic and relevant for you guys. I don't want to pick players and you say, oh, he left 3 years ago, mate. He's now playing at the Wanderers. So
yeah, he's not here anymore.
yeah, I do my homework, mate. But look, I really appreciate your time. I can't wait to see you make your A-League debut. I know your family and your grandparents are super, super proud of you. It's a massive sacrifice you're making up there in Brisbane, and I know they're giving you a great opportunity, but, mate, you deserve every bit of success you have. And, mate, for the rest of the year, look, good luck with everything with the Roar. I'd love to check in with you a little bit later in the year. But if you cop any grief from the guys because you've thrown them under the bus, just give them my number and I'm happy to have a chat with them.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And just sharing around everything and it's been great. It's been great. Thank you for having me.
You're listening to the Football Revolution.
Welcome back to the show. It was great chatting with James, a young man with a bright future, and we wish him all the best. We have gone a little bit over time. This is starting to become a little bit of the Guitar World Cup VIG, so we have to smash through this clinical finish. Up first is our What the Foot, and I'll quickly smash this one out. When you type A-League into Google and it brings up results for the latest round of matches, then when you click in and it shows you the game info, you go to the lineups for the Roar and Glory game this week, click on Brisbane's new coach, N Green, and you get former Australian rower Nick Green, not the actual English coach. So he's best known for the Awesome Foursome, the Golden Valley fruit commercials. So maybe it's all the rush to replace Moon. They've just cut corners, but they ought to know better.
They do ought to know better. I've just got flashbacks of that terrible Golden Valley
How bad was it?
Fruit ad that just I think that just haunted me during my school years.
Golden Valley go, luscious fruits now exotic. Golden Valley go.
Yeah, he used to get
one of the most cringeworthy commercials ever made.
You used to get one of those tins in your lunchbox and just go, oh no, it's gone in the bin. Throw it over the fence.
The worst part is it wasn't just a rubbish commercial, but it was around some of our best sports stars, the Awesome Foursome. So it's embarrassing for them. Couldn't they get them at least some decent commercials?
Yeah, look, I don't know if they went back and had to do it all over again. I don't think they'd be signing that contract, and or maybe they will. Maybe there was some big dollars being thrown at them, but yeah.
So just to confirm there, it's Nick Green is the new Brisbane Roar English coach, not Nick Green, the Awesome Foursome famous rower. So games to watch this week. The Big Blue is always a battle when Sydney hosts the Victory. Adelaide at home to City will be entertaining clash, but the match of the round is the mouth-watering game at CommBank Stadium, where the Wanderers welcome the Central Coast Mariners. Both teams on equal points. So
Clive Palmer's back. How good?
Oh, I thought bling bling, mate. It's late, and so we're starting to get a little bit delusional here. But yeah, it's a huge game. Both teams on equal points. Wanderers coming in after a great win. The Mariners after a tough 1-1 draw against the Phoenix. But all to play for here.
Yeah, some big games in Sydney on Saturday night. So yeah, Wanderers Central Coast at 5 p.m. and then Sydney FC. Melbourne Victory in the Big Blue, but that Wanderers Central Coast game, that's really going to define who finishes second this season, I think.
And who do you think that will be? Who will you have your money on?
Oh God, look, it's hard to go past the Wanderers at home after their performance last week. But Central Coast they need to bounce back, but they're going to be without some players and without their coach on the sideline as well. So I think it's going to be a difficult night for Central Coast.
Yeah, look, it'll be a big challenge for them. But if they can get over the top of a great team like the Wanderers, and especially with all the difficulties they're going to have in the prep for it, then they totally deserve it. But moving up to a quick snapshot of our TFR fantasy update. So this week, my round 19 score was 93, taking my total to 1,441. How did you fare there, VIG?
Off picture. I think my round total was 112, taking my grand total to 1,382.
So I've still got about 60 on you, but look, it was another solid week from me. You were just better. I got rid of Piscopo, LaCroix, and Mac. I brought in, I recalled Kraev, Neville, and Fornaroli. So Craver's probably cursing me because, like I said, he was smashing it the weeks after I let him go, and now I've brought him back in again and he started to struggle. For me, the hot was Zawada, who got 12, but 24 as my captain, Risdon with 14, and Neuenhoff with 16. But Cole was Matt Miller -1, Ryan Williams -2. And it hurts that I had Roar captain Aldred on the bench and he scored 20, so he can stick it to me.
Ooh, that does hurt. Yeah, look, I've been going cold in the fullback position. So Carl Jenkinson only 2 points for me, Callum Talbot 2 points, and Mr. Reliable Wilkinson for Sydney FC with 0 points. So a little bit disappointing there, but obviously J Mac up top getting me some points. Malfitano in midfield scoring as well, and the young gun Nestori Irankunda.
Mate, even though you got some fullbacks who aren't delivering like they should, you still got the job done. So 112 beats my 93, 60 points difference. So a lot to play for. You're starting to close the gap. If you missed any part of the show or you want to listen to other episodes, where can they catch it?
Yeah, they can catch us on all good podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, also on Football Nation Radio and across their platforms. And if you want to see the video, up on our YouTube channel.
Some tasty football coming up this week. Thanks to our guest, James Nikolovski. Good luck to Brendan Wyatt in the Orange Marathon. Please get behind him and back this incredible human being. Hope you enjoyed the show even half as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. And we look forward to your company again next Tuesday. Until then, as we say, rise up and join the football revolution. Have a great week, and we'll see you again next week.